This is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock. And I forgot my beer. Almost forgot it. Oh, my goodness. And this beer's episode, or this episode's beer is not to be shaken before you open because this is insanity. It is, we're not even going to grab that. We're going to grab from our secret stash behind the table. It is the La Gatia. I think I'm saying that right. La Gatia. It's an Oklahoma City brew. It is a Mexican cerveza. It's Mexican style lager. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little heavy. So if you're not drinking if you're not drinking this during what's supposed to be the winter months, yes, I have short sleeves on. But if you're drinking this during the winter months, this will be pretty good. Oklahoma gets pretty damn cold. So yeah, but it doesn't say what the percentage is though. Uh-oh. I don't really like the cover. Feels like I can rip it off, which seemingly I can. But the taste is pretty good. It makes up for it. The design, I like it. And I got it because that's right. I am going to the Armed Forces Bowl this week after Christmas. I'm looking forward to it, which OU will be in playing on the field versus Navy. A little nervous about that, not going to lie. But at the end of the day, bowl games, you never can tell with these bowl games, which we've all seen by now this weekend, all the hubbub and about. And before I get too far into it, let's go ahead and give a big shout out. It's the year-end Total Wine, man. The year is ending, and like the holidays, the eggnog. I mean, every time I go to Total Wine, it's packed, right? And the reason is because they're the number one place that I find for beer, number one place that I find for really all alcohol, period. The other day we threw like a Christmas party, and I had to go find mixers that I had never heard of, and Total Wine had them. So shout out to Total Wine, big shout out to Total Wine. You can get kegs, you can get beer, you can get single case beer, you can get a single beer, cases, 6-packs, 12-packs, all the above, man. It is a madhouse, obviously, because of the holidays, but so Total Wine, shout out to Total Wine. But I don't know if it's safe enough to, geez, this thing made a puddle. Fuck. It's not even fully open yet, so excuse me slurping in y'all's ear. That sounds crazy. But news, you can booze too. All right, man. Thursday night football. We're going to jump straight into the NFL because, man, if we talk college football right now, it'd be kind of crazy. So, crazier than that beer spilling every damn where. I mean, everywhere. God. Chargers beat the Broncos to take second place in the West. KC is not giving up their number one spot. Just forget about it. So I am, I think that the Broncos simply were outcoached, and that's weird for me to say against Sean Payton. And what I mean by that is some of these weird ass plays that they had go on, and I'll just show you what I mean. Here, I'll just show you what I'm saying.
Who's dangerous is back. Chargers trying to set up a return. Fair catch is called for. He goes down. Ball is loose. And whatever happens here with the flag down.
It is fair catch interference, and it's a 15-yard penalty. We'll get an untimed down. And LA will have two options. They can either snap the ball or they can do a free kick for a field goal, which we haven't seen in forever.
Mm-hmm. We just said crazy things are going to happen here.
Can he bang it through? On its way, it is. Yep.
Made history tonight.
Yes. There you go.
And from that point on, I feel like the momentum shifted, and it was just out-coach play after out-coach play after out-coach play. And I just feel like Sean Payton kind of outsmarted himself, or let himself be outsmarted by Harbaugh, and it was just really weird to see. It turned out to be a really good game on Thursday night, so yeah, it was really good. Moving on. Steelers lose to the Ravens without Pickens. Russ looks okay. He hasn't been cooking the last 2 weeks since that Pickens has been out, which is crazy because Pickens, all he wants to do is fight anyway. So will this be a problem come playoffs? I don't know, because he is playing Christmas, or he's been practicing. Doesn't necessarily mean he's playing, but he's set to play Christmas because he did miss 2 weeks. It's just kind of weird for the Steelers, because the big reason that they switched quarterbacks in the first place was to get more offense, and now without their number one wide receiver, they're having issues. I think that they're not going to change. Obviously, it'd be stupid to change it towards the end of the season. But, we'll see if old boy comes back, number one receiver comes back and gets it together, and if they get right back cooking again. But with the rest of the schedule coming up, they still have the win. They still have the AFC North clinched. It's just more so of just keeping their seeding at this point, because they don't want to fall too far down to 4. Basically, I think they're at 3rd. I don't think it really matters. But anyway, Ravens are rolling, and now have split the series with them, and they've clinched the playoff spot for sure. And it's going to be a lot of clinching and eliminations in the next, like this week and the next few weeks, because everybody, it's down to the nitty gritty. I think it's week 16 or week 15 is coming to a close. So it is fucking almost playoffs, and to see the madness, you got to earn your number one spot. You got to earn your division now. Just ask the Bucks. And it's really tough right now. It's really, really tough. So the Ravens continue to ride the wave. They're going to be scary in the playoffs if we get in-season Lamar. If we get playoff Lamar or something close to it, we're, more of the same, if you will. It looks good, though. I think the AFC playoff picture has them right now at like 6 or 7. So they'll end up facing the Steelers, or they'll end up facing the 4th seed, which is Houston. And I like their chances against Houston. Houston's having a little bit of a slide. Speaking of Houston, Chiefs beat the Texans. All these games, these Thursday game was cool. Saturday was Steelers and Ravens, which was cool. Then the Chiefs beat the Texans. C.J. Stroud is having a second-year slump like nobody's business. And it doesn't help that every single week he's dealing with another battled injury of one of his wide receivers. Listen, Tank Dell, broke and dislocated a knee after being there was a stat or a meme or something like that came out today or yesterday. Basically, the dude broke a fibula, got shot, and dislocated a knee all in one calendar year. That man has battled beyond battled back, and we just wish you a speedy recovery. I don't wish injuries on nobody, whether I like your team or not. That's crazy. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with C.J. Stroud. He has looked really mediocre. That offense has looked really stagnant. Joe Mixon wasn't rolling like they thought he would be. It's just been very, very wishy-washy. Houston. They're lucky that the AFC South is so ass. Otherwise, they would be in a lot of trouble right now, because they're just not looking that great. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, with injured Patrick Mahomes, they just continue to do what they do. They're going into the playoffs. They're doing their thing. Now they're just everybody's just basically hoping that they don't have to go to Kansas City for the playoffs home games, which it's looking like they most likely will. Bills came very, very close to losing this week and almost locked it up for them. Thank God it was the Patriots, though, because the Patriots basically did what the Patriots always do or not always do, but ever since Brady and Belichick left, they just, find a way to fuck it up. So, and honestly, Drake May outplayed Josh Allen, if you want to be real. But that Josh Allen did just enough. His defense did just enough, just like the Chiefs, and they won the game. So, listen, very, 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 very tough AFC, top heavy tough. Everybody else is very wishy-washy after the third to fourth spot. And I'm counting the Ravens in the fourth spot. I'm not counting the Texans in the fourth spot. The Cardinals, Niners, Cowboys have all been eliminated from the playoffs in the NFC. We wish you well. Book your trips to Cancun. Go sit on the couch. Whatever you want to say. They're done. Washington beat Philly without Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts went out with a concussion and tried to come back into the game and the ref looked at him and was like, say that one more time. Like, look at me in the face. No. He needs to go. He's definitely concussed. The backup, I think it was Pickett. I don't know. It's too many picks. He played okay. He played okay. There was a lot of gripes about him. Saquon did what he was supposed to do, but, Devontae dropped the ball. They had a chance to win this game. They only lost this game by 3 without their starting quarterback. Daniels, technically the rookie of the year, because he's just having that moment. He's just having these moments right now. He 5 turnovers on top of 5 touchdowns. It was insane. He should not even be in the conversation. This should have been an absolute dismantling, but because Hurts got hurt, no pun intended, it was much more closer of a game than it should have been. Meanwhile, Philly was just doing some really Philly shit, and it was really kind of weird because I don't know what's going on in Philly, but these dudes just love to fight every week. So he got ejected for that. The beat was kind of fire, so I left it in there. But he got ejected for that. Now, what you don't see is that originally he punched the dude as well. Philly they're just the most wild bunch I have ever seen as far as a team right now. They are fighting with each other on the sidelines. They are fighting with every team, every chance they get. It's just weird and crazy, but they're number 2, almost number 3 in the NFC. They better watch it because if the Vikings have no chance unless they beat the Lions, which I don't think they can. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of teams that are just continuing to do weird things, the Jets lose to the Rams, which is not weird. It's not surprising. It was a weird score. It was like 19-9 or 19 it was just a weird score. Nobody could get the extra point, but they could get field goals. It was just very odd game. But the surprise of the game was actually Aaron Rodgers and that offense looked actually okay. They scored a touchdown. They were moving the ball. Red zone defense for the Rams was a little tougher, a little tighter, but they looked like they were trying to keep up with the Rams for a while. And it just, obviously it just didn't work out. But, I mean, it was very surprising. I want to know, Rodgers, I don't know if he's trying to make a bounce back for the second half to get a job somewhere else, or if he just doesn't want to go out pitiful. But again, it's the Jets, and a lot of them want to get out of there. they are trying to get out of there quick, man. Already talking about new teams with Devontae Adams. Already talking about a new team for Garrett Wilson. Everybody's just done with this entire experiment. Blow the whole thing up. Woody is cooked right now. So Falcons beat the Giants. Also not a surprise. I know y'all probably like, Ziggy, that's not even a big deal. It's not. But Michael Penix started. Michael Penix Jr. started and didn't look bad, honestly. He didn't look great. He didn't look bad. He looked okay. Bijan Robinson looked better. And Kyle Pitts just continues to do things that just makes us all question whether or not he's a good tight end or not. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he threw a pass, hit Kyle Pitts dead in the hands, right in the chest. He had the ball in his possession and kind of just got turned sideways in a tackle and flung the ball to the defender. It was the craziest thing I think I've ever seen. It deserves to be on beer goggles, but there's a reason it's not. But yeah, so I don't know. I think the future is bright for Michael Penix Jr. I think that the Falcons may have found their guy. I also think, though, that it poses the question, is Kurt gone or is Kurt going to get another shot somewhere? But all I know is I saw this stat somewhere that he's, if I'm not mistaken, been paid $321 million in his entire career and only won one playoff game. That man's agent deserves to go down in the Canton, Ohio. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame because that is insane. And all of it has been pretty much guaranteed for the latter half of his career. Anyway, moving along. Dolphins, Colts, and surprisingly, the Bengals are all still in the hunt for the playoffs. Now, it's very tricky. Miami needs some help. Colts need some help. Bengals need some help. They need a lot of dominoes to fall. Each of them. They need to win out and need a lot of dominoes to fall. Colts need Miami to lose, and Miami needs or the Colts need Miami to lose one more, or the Bengals lose one more. I don't know. It's very weird. All of them are under 500 and working their way to 500 and working their way to the playoffs. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was Miami, I would not be trying to be the 7th or 8th seed or whatever the case, or 7th seed, because then that means that you're going to be going to somewhere cold, whether it be Buffalo or Kansas City. And we've seen how this story ends. Now, the Colts are interesting, and the Bengals are very interesting. I don't know. I don't think that the Bengals are going to make it. I think they started off too far back, but man, Joe Burrow is just having an amazing season. And yeah, it's just getting very interesting at the bottom part of the AFC. NFC is kind of already pretty much solidified. The Bucs lost to the Cowboys. Even though they were eliminated, the Cowboys came back and won that game, or not came back, but they came through and dominated that game at home, of all things. Believe it or not, I had it on Better Beer, Bet the House. I thought the Bucs were going to win that game. I didn't trust the Cowboys to put two together. They haven't put two together like that and since like 2 years ago. So for me, I was just shocked. And they had nothing to play for. Tampa Bay had everything to play for. I don't know what happened. Honestly, I don't know what happened. I watched that game and I was just shocked at how bad Baker looked and how bad the run game looked on. And it was just bad. And how good Cooper Rush looked at one point. Cooper Rush looked really good. So I got to give kudos to the Cowboys for figuring it out. And I think Mike McCarthy just coached himself back into his job. I don't know. It sounded like Jerry Jones is trying to give him back the job. Like, they're still fighting for him. They're still playing for him. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, no, this is going to happen all over again. The Cowboys are definitely in purgatory if this happens one more time. I don't think so. I think they're going to end up firing him still. I think that was just a good, pat on the back to finish the season strong so our ticket sales can stay up. But I don't know, man. That the way that conversation went with the media sounded very he's coming back. So anyway, yeah. So the women's basketball, I haven't talked about women's basketball in a while. Listen, college basketball is going crazy for men and women. I really haven't talked about it much because football is just so dominating, and it's only a 45-minute, 50-minute show. People, I'd be here for hours if we talked about every single sport, every damn episode. But I will start talking more as college football is ending. College basketball will be more and more talked about for me because I like women's college basketball and women's basketball and men's basketball and NBA. But that's neither here nor there. All right. USC versus UConn, or at UConn. Biggest game of the season. I talked about it when the season first started about USC. What was Juju going to do? This is going to be a very, very big battle for them. And this will prove some things and get them, prove some things to some people for them as far as like what kind of team USC is. They hit some bumps in the road. They have a very tough schedule, but they actually handled UConn. This was a blowout, or this was, I won't say blowout. This was double-digit lead for a majority of the game till the end. UConn figured out a way to come back and kind of get this as close as they could. They lost by 2 points, 72-70 USC. Juju had 25 points. I believe she had like six assists and 5 rebounds. Like, that's a hell of a stat line. Everybody was talking about Paige and what her stat line is and all that stuff. I didn't really want to get into the negative of it. I feel like Juju really is, that's my girl, dog. Juju, that's my girl. She's been going crazy, and she just continues to stride and like put it up there. The comparisons are definitely flowing for her, and she's doing her thing. Now, y'all all been waiting. Those of you that follow me on Twitter, y'all probably know I've been arguing with people all fucking weekend, all week about college football. Listen, the bowl games have been kind of crazy. There's been coaches that have left and teams that have completely wiped their whole team out by transferring. And then there's been specific players transferring, and the lesser, if you will, of the bowl games and stuff like that. Some players are opting out because they're going to the draft, or they're moving to different schools, or whatever the case may be. They don't want to hurt themselves in what they feel is like a meaningless game. Now, soon I think that's going to change, because I think that the NIL and the transfer portal stuff is going to start they're going to start narrowing it down to after the season is over, and start making it where you have to play, and making the bowl games a little more meaningful, because they're losing money. And that's, at the end of the day, NCAA is a fucking business, and ESPN and Fox and all the networks that they have in the pocket. This is a fucking business. No matter how passionate we are about this business, it is still a business. So they're gonna put the business before emotions, and yeah. So, but anyway, they a lot of conversation was had about the playoffs. First round of playoffs were all blowouts. Pretty much every single one of them, except maybe Texas versus Clemson. Clemson was keeping it within about 2 touchdowns majority of the game. Indiana, because Notre Dame didn't care, came back at the end, got it down to 10 points. I don't know. I mean, they were pretty much garbage time, TDs and scores. It was whatever. But here's my point. This is exactly what the committee wanted. This is exactly what the committee continues to want. They want to make this a debate. They want the teams and coaches. Oh my God, if Lane Kiffin don't stop tweeting about these games and start tweeting about, he better start. Oh my God, if Ole Miss loses their bowl game, I swear to God, he's going to have to block me, because the amount of talk he's been doing on Twitter about other people's games because he didn't get selected in the 12-game playoff. I can't wait. Man, his shit is going to be absolutely flooded. he's going to have to block pretty much half of the country because he's opened up Pandora's box. But this is all that the committee wanted in the first place. They just wanted us to continue to talk about college football, how great it is, how bad it is, how whatever you felt, these teams aren't, shouldn't be in, these teams should be in, and these things, da 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 da. They all wanted that as the conversation. They don't want college football to go away. This is why they gave us 12 games. They want it as long as they physically can. Now, what I will say is that they have accomplished this. They have accomplished it. And more people watch more. I've seen more playoff games, more football games being talked about and watched than any other time that I've ever seen, as far as until the national championships. We ain't even hit the semifinals yet. The semifinals don't start until a couple of weeks, and we're just nonstop talking about it. And this is what they wanted. This is what they wanted, and this is what they got. So for all the people that are upset, I understand you may have wanted your allegiance or alumni in the games and stuff like that. But listen, sometimes the team that wins out and they win in the big conference, they're going to get in. They have their chance to fucking do what they need to do. So we're going to move on to Beer Goggles of the Week, which is dedicated strictly to College Game Day and their crew. And first up, oh man, sorry, my allergies have been killing me. But this is the worst kick I think we have seen on College Game Day.
It might have a little nuclear energy on it, and you will win for not only yourself but everybody. Kirk, how do you feel about it?
I'm suspect.
Oh no, he's got no belief in you, JD.
And it has most to do with the galoshes.
But he's going straight on.
Okay. All right.
This guy works at nuclear energy. That feels like that's cheating, doesn't it? JD Lovell from Virginia. Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow. 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell. This guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders.
Oh my God! Maybe he low-key did that on purpose because he was a Tennessee fan and he kicked it he literally kicked it dead in her face. It was bad. But also, what was bad is Nick Saban's choice of attire, and because it was bad, there was a name brought to our attention that I thought. This is by far like one of the best guests that they pulled up on College Game Day.
You called him a cheater earlier.
I was just joking around. I don't think the SEC paid players ever.
Period. Right?
No, I'm joking. Are we not? Is this not a fun show?
No.
Serious show?
Serious football.
Like Alabama Jones is very serious.
No, I'm not serious.
Get the whip, Indy.
I do believe in integrity. I always tried to run the program that way so players had a better chance to be successful in life.
I agree.
We make more money in the NFL than any other school, 61 players in the league. That was how we cheated. We developed players. We recruited.
I'm so sorry.
Yo, my man called him Alabama Jones, and he wore another hat the next College Game Day. It was, it's just bad. So this section is for Mr. Kurt Herbstreit and Kurt Herbstreit only. Kurt been tripping, so let's just get into it.
The atmosphere was historic.
Yeah.
The game was not. And I'm not going to sit here and say why was Indiana in, but Indiana, with what you guys like to talk about, they have 11 wins. They got to be one of the best teams. Indiana was outclassed in that game. They should not physically, it was not a team that should have been on that field when you consider other teams that could have been there. It's no knock on Indiana. They had a great year, but we've got to move forward with the playoff. and hope that the committee does a better job of weighing who the best 12 are versus who's the most deserving, because by golly, they got 11 wins. They didn't beat anybody, but they got 11 wins. That's a bunch of BS. We need to find the best teams, and that's last night. It was incredibly evident just standing on that field and watching the game and the way it played out.
Yeah,
He's heard about it.
Now, Kirk, how much of this softens the blow of that Michigan loss? More work to do, right, for folks to forgive and forget that one?
I can't speak on behalf of the lunatic fringe. I'm not sure how they operate. Yeah, the lunatic fringe at Ohio State is as powerful as anywhere in the country.
How big is the fringe?
It used to be 8 to 10. I think it's grown now to about 15 to 20. So I don't know. I'm sure they'll be happy tonight, be fired up about what the Ohio State team did, but God forbid they lose to Oregon. They may want to fire them again.
But that's not reality. I mean,
no.
That's the thing. When you hear pundits on this network and other places talk about that with certainty, it's nonsense, frankly. I mean, the public doesn't pull the trigger and get rid of the coach.
No.
The administrators do, and they're behind them.
Yeah. First Take tried to fire him. They thought he was done. So I'll be excited to see what they talk about on Monday after this performance. They had him out. They're trying to find replacements. But here he is. There he is. He's still got his hat on. He's still coaching.
But there's more. There's more. He just kept going down this. I don't know what's going on with Kurt.
The first round is now complete. All home teams won. They not only won, but they won by double digits. What is your biggest takeaway from this first weekend of the 12-team playoff?
That I hope next year the committee won't get caught up in what the social media and a lot of people who are fringe fans get caught up in, which is wins. They had 11 wins. They must be good. Who did they beat? I think is much more important than how many wins you have. That's old school way of approaching it. Indiana having 11 wins and beating nobody, that doesn't mean they're one of the 12 best teams. Remember, I know, Linda, I'm not taking this out on you, but there's a big difference between deserving and best.
Yeah.
What this is all about is giving us the best 12 teams. Now, it's subjective. How you want to figure out the best 12 is up to you. But that's what I want to see. I don't want to hear about wins. How many wins? Winning's obviously important, but just because you have 11 wins doesn't mean you're better than a team that maybe had a tougher road that had 9 wins. So I think we get too caught up in how many wins you have. It's really more about who are the best 12 teams, and we need to get the best 12 teams in this tournament every year.
It's a fantastic point, Kirk. Thanks for making it, and thanks for joining us on SportsCenter.
Fantastic point. So Shannon Sharp is on First Take, and he responded. He didn't necessarily like First Take didn't like what they had to say about them during the Ohio State game.
Even though I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna be a good teammate. I'm gonna let it slide. Everybody's at ESPN, because had you not taken the route you taken, I would have lit their ass up. But I'm gonna let it slide. You know what, guys? Congratulations, Ohio State. You won the game. But, hey, if we're going to be on the same team, if we're going to work for the same network, don't do that. Kurt, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention anything, any platform that I'm on again and talking about, I wonder what they're going to say in negativity, I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me off y'all for what I'm going to say. So I'm going to let y'all slide today. I'm going to turn it over to D.O. before I get myself in trouble. But don't play with me. Go ahead, D.O.
Damn.
I gotta follow.
Go ahead.
Man.
Oh man. All right. So let's talk about it. I'll do conversations at the K. That was, by the way, that was Beer Goggles of the Week, and it was strictly dedicated to all the nonsense of college game day and college football, and yeah. But let's talk about it, right? So conversations at the Keg. Listen, ESPN and all of the SEC pundits, if we want to use that word now, are all dick riders. Let's just be real. They dick ride the SEC, and now that Saban is on ESPN College Game Day, the dick riding has become unbearable about how 9-win teams should be in over 11-win teams and things like that. Listen, we're pulling teeth on some of these teams, but when you lose to a middle of the road ass team like Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Kentucky, LSU, so should we start letting LSU and Kentucky in since they beat those teams? No, we shouldn't, because their schedule, their ranking, their things like that, they did not make it. Now, they didn't get the wins. First off, let's talk about let's break it down, right? The playoffs, the first round were all blowouts. Yes, we all know, we all watched this. We saw the games. Most of the games were just, it was very cold. The home game thing, I think, is the thing that actually needs to be changed more than I think than the 11-win teams or strength of schedule and SEC, all that shit. I think that it needs to be maybe played at bowl games. If you want to be real, narrow down and bring down some of the bowl games or double up on some of the bowl games and have Penn State and SMU play at a neutral location. Indiana and Notre Dame play at a neutral location. Games may have went a little bit different. Clemson and Texas, same thing. Games may have went a little bit different. Now, that's just a suggestion, right? But at the end of the day, what we wanted, because the 4-game playoffs wasn't enough, you fucking cried about this. You begged for more games, more playoffs. Well, you got it. And they're in a 12-man tournament, there are going to be some teams that don't really necessarily match up to the top 3 or 4, but that's why they're the top 3 or 4. So I don't understand all this fucking crying at this point about, Indiana. And it was really strictly shot at Indiana, because I didn't really hear SMU mentioned at all. I didn't really hear Clemson mentioned at all. We know Tennessee wouldn't be mentioned because they're SEC, and how dare they will never talk about SEC. But I mean, if you want to talk strength of schedule, Texas ain't played nobody either. Texas played Michigan, who we all saw had a bad year. A&M, okay, but they weren't in the top 25 by the time they played them. So their strength of schedule was just as bad as, say, Indiana's or SMU's. They didn't really play too many people. They lost to Ohio State, who is one of the best teams, or Indiana did, to one of the best teams in the country. That's why they were ranked like 4th or 5th or whatever the case may be. I think the seeding needs to be changed, and committee needs to, go ahead and match up the teams with the weakest strength of schedule and put them 10 through 6 or 5 or whatever the case may be, and let the top 4 teams, whether they be SEC, Big Ten, whoever that had the tougher strength of schedule and the tougher wins, or the whatever the case may be, put them on the bye week instead of the Arizona States and the BYUs. But committee obviously saw something in those guys going undefeated, or losing one game and only and winning their conference the way they did. Yeah, they had to see something. We all saw it. We didn't see it was a bit. You didn't say all this when it was fucking committee and they made the decision. You didn't. We didn't hear none of this on this. All it was talking about was Alabama and SMU. Now it's Indiana. It's just, listen. We get it. Y'all want Alabama on there. We get it. Second argument I have is the statement about deserving and best teams. Kirk, your best 12, whether it would have Indiana in it or have SMU in it, or let's be honest, if you would have any of those teams in there. And let's be honest, SMU, really, to be quite frank, would have been in that game a lot closer, if not winning that game, if their quarterback hadn't thrown 3 fucking interceptions. Literally threw 2 pick sixes back to back, and then threw a third in the red zone. One of the pick sixes was from the red zone. So I mean, listen, am I shocked that the defense got gassed and couldn't? They just really got tired. Penn State really wasn't moving the ball that well against that defense. Let's just be honest. But I digress. We'll move on. The point of the matter is that deserving and best, right? So who do you feel is the best, right? Again, it's going to be, the SEC, Alabama's and 9-win teams. Nah, you get your chance like everybody else. You got your crack at it like everybody else. And you lost to Oklahoma, who's having a bad year. You lost to Kentucky, who's never been a just outstanding football school. And then you lost to Vandy, who you never lose to. Listen, I'm sorry, you fucking blew it yourselves. Like your boy Nate Saban said, you should have won. You have no one to blame but yourself. Indiana, I get it. They necessarily, because Cognetti, he came, but I do feel like this was all brought on by Cognetti, the coach, because he literally got on College Game Day and was talking cash money shit, and then get your ass dismantled by Notre Dame, which I honestly think Notre Dame is not making it out the next round, but that's neither here nor there. But I just feel like, come on, man, it was so bad for him. And then I feel like that's why Kurt is going so crazy on him. Or maybe he's just grieving about his dog. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like these are just, wrong timing things. And I feel like, Saban ain't really ready to joke about the playoffs yet. And that's why he was making those faces about players getting paid, because he don't want to say he was letting them get paid because he don't know the statute of limitations yet. So, listen, I do feel like I got off subject, but I do feel like deserving and best they're both very opinionated fucking statements as far as team goes, because to me, deserving, you could say anybody's deserving. Fuck, Army was deserving this year, but the best teams, not necessarily. And I guess that's what he's trying to say. But at the same time, you can't say that the best team was Alabama. You can't say the best team was Ole Miss. Who did they miss out of the 12 games, out of the 12 playoff teams? Who did they miss that was the best team in the nation that didn't get in? I didn't see anybody. Yes, you can make the argument, your opinionated argument, that Alabama, Ole Miss, hell, you can make the opinionated argument about Army should have been in, but it doesn't make sense. Army, those that got their shot. They came up short in the first round. Listen, make it a neutral site instead of being at home. But deserving and best is both very fucking opinionated. And if we go off ESPN, which is technically laying in bed with SEC, all we'll have is 6, 7, 8 SEC teams and 1 or 2 Big Tens and Big 12 and Pac whatever. They'll just, they'll figure it out. And ACC won't even get a shot because they don't respect ACC at all. Like, Miami, maybe Miami was one of the best, but their defense was absolutely terrible. So I feel like they wouldn't have been able to play at any of the teams that had home field advantage. All the gripes, to me, there was no right or wrong answer. And again, this is what the fucking committee wanted. We don't even know what they really vote on. We don't. Lastly, we all want competitive games, because I heard that a couple times this weekend too. All these games need to be competitive, blah, 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 blah. Listen, the next round is going to be very competitive, although I do feel like there's going to be 1 or 2 blowouts, but there's going to be some very, 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 very good games. And it's not the games you're thinking. I'm thinking Arizona State and Texas might go to OT. But I also think that, like, Ohio State and Oregon, Boise State, like, there are some games that are going to be, Georgia. I think there's going to be some really good games. I think we all want competitive games. We all want that. But my thing is like, it doesn't matter. We wanted more. The main thing we wanted was more football. We wanted more college football, wanted more meaningful college football. I'll say that. I wanted more meaningful college football. We all did. And all of you fucking voted that you wanted more teams in and this, that, and third. And I fucking knew it. I said it too. I said it should only be 8 this next go round, because 12, too many, and everybody's going to cry about 1 or 2 teams that shouldn't have fucking got in regardless. Excuse me. And what happens again? Motherfucking crying. Anyway, listen, Kurt. Listen, Chris. Y'all need to dial back the dick riding a little bit. Kurt, go walk your new dog. Think about the contract that you're going to get with the SEC, ESPN. Think about the money that you guys will get on the next go-round when Alabama or the Ole Misses or the Texas A&Ms maybe. Maybe you guys thought Texas A&M should have been in because it's all about the SEC. We all know that's what your gripes are about. We all know that. There's nobody else you can be fighting for. Miami, you're not fighting for them. Indiana, you're not fighting for them. Michigan, you're not fighting for them. We know you're not fighting. We know you're fighting for one specific conference, and we get it. We are tired. Fans are tired, and we see right through it. Even the fans that agree with you that SEC should have some games in or should have more teams in, they all see it. It's like, yeah, it is what it is. We shouldn't have lost 3 games, but damn, man, listen, it's a lot of dick riding. We're tired of hearing it. Chill out, relax. Next round is going to be fucking amazing. And then we'll find something else to complain and cry about with college football. So it doesn't really fucking matter. Doesn't matter. We'll never be 100% happy. Never. It won't matter because it'll come down to a stupid referee play call. It'll come down to a stupid overtime rule. It'll come down to something stupid that we're going to fucking argue about, which is what college football is all about. It's about debate, I think. Yeah. Anyway. All right, it's time. Oh, that was Conversations at the Keg. Got a woo-saw when I step off this podium. Now it's time for the 6-pack of the week. First off, this is by far one of the best fake punts I have ever seen.
Didn't it? Both of these teams have 17 interceptions. And how about a fake punt? The shovel pass. How good was that? Marshall Nichols, the punter, executes it perfectly.
That was crazy. The shovel pass, the whole thing. That was just crazy. I've never seen anything like that. Like my man over the whole. Yeah, that was crazy. And I've never seen anything. We always hear about the State Farm commercial, Fumblerooski, but I've never actually seen the Fumblerooski until now.
Against him as well, would have gone both sides. Now
Gibbs stumbled after taking the snap, but it doesn't matter. Connects with Laporta for a Lions touchdown. Even when something goes wrong, it goes right for the Detroit Lions.
It's really supposed to be Laporta, who's right there, that's going to kind of stumble out of there. And I wonder if that was a trick play, because now it looks intentional. You have Jahmyr Gibbs fake falling. You have Jared Goff fake stumbling, and then all of a sudden Laporta comes screaming out.
Yeah, it was definitely fake, and it was the Fumblerooski. You know what I'm saying? It was the Fumblerooski. Joe Burrow, man, is again, he's having a great year. Throwing wise, it's in a losing effort, but this throw, how do you throw it on the floor?
He played 8 minutes. Burrow, pocket collapses. Burrow stumbling and just masterfully gets it to Higgins. Just otherworldly from Burrow.
Off the ground when he threw the pass. Touchdown.
Well, it was so.
He was literally like an inch from the fucking field, knee down. I haven't seen anything like it. This is amazing. Also, it was amazing how much effort the Cowboys had in the Sunday night game.
At the 46, it's a gain of 27. Mayfield now. Shot down the field. It's McMillan. He got it. No, picked off by Lewis. Lewis fought him for it and took it away.
We've seen that a couple times this year. Follows the pull away interception, but that was, again, we have nothing. You have nothing to play for, and yet here we are showing up defense and doing their thing. So, Josh Jacobs is strong as fuck.
Tackle gets up to the second level. Josh Jacobs is 12 yards downfield before he even gets the contact.
Little stiff arm for Tyrann Mathieu on top of it. First.
Bruh. He should have scored there, but bruh. he threw that man like just all the. It was a Derrick Henry-esque momentum throw too. So, and Jaden Daniels, listen, Jaden Daniels is definitely the rookie of the year. It's unfortunate, though, because Brock Bowers – I'm not unfortunate that Jaden Daniels is the rookie of the offensive rookie of the year. It's unfortunate that Brock Bowers is not getting talked about a lot. He is about to break a record. I just want to give him a shout-out because he is about to break a record that has not been broken for a tight end in rookie year since Ditka. Mike Ditka had 1,080 yards, I want to say, 1,079 or 1,089 yards in his first season, and Brock Bowers is about to get it. And he's like 40 yards away and still has like 2 more games to go, and his quarterbacks have been ass this year. So it is amazing to see, but Jaden Daniels is fucking surgical.
I don't love splitting the use of timeouts. I think you got to use them on either side of the 2-minute warning together.
Mohamed Kias has got 2 touchdowns left after today. On 1st and 10, Daniels sideline, McLaurin timing route, first down. He got 11 goals first time. Really showing pressure and bringing it. Daniels steps up, makes a man miss. Jaden Daniels, first down inside the 25.
It's really been the difference maker. Jalen Carter has him, but we've just seen they've had a hard time getting him on the ground.
Under a minute to go, another blitz coming, and so an open man underneath.
No matter what, and of course, it goes without saying, you cannot take a sack.
McLaurin to the bottom of the screen, 2nd and goal, 10 seconds. Daniels fires, end zone, touchdown! Jamison Crowder, preposterous! 5 turnovers, and the lead with seconds remaining.
And Jamison Crowder's just going to run a simple little middle bend. And Zach Bond, for whatever reason, he just drops him and never flips his hips. And
Jaden Daniels is fucking surgical, man. That shit was crazy. And that is 6-pack of the week. And this week after Christmas, I will be, I think I've said this before, but I just want to tell you guys again because I'm so excited about it. I am going to the Armed Forces Bowl. Shout out to Navy, and I hope y'all put up a good fight. Hope it's a good game. Boomer! Oklahoma will be playing against them. It's in Fort Worth. So if you are going and you watch the show or you follow me on any of my socials, come say hi. I will be all over the field, I won't be all over the field because I won't be on during the game, but I will be all over the place. So I'll be, I've only been in TCU like less than a handful of times. So definitely going to check out as much as I can and do as much sightseeing, if you will, as I can. I know I'm saying it like it's so far from here, but Dallas and Fort Worth really don't travel to each other. So what can I say? But this is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock, and I got to clean up a mess.